Cinco de Mayo, a festive atmosphere here at the ballpark all afternoon. An enthusiastic street festival celebration leading up to our game tonight. Big crowd here. D-backs look to snap a 3-game losing streak. Welcome in, D-backs and Astros on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The second of a 3-game set. The D-backs tonight will look to get the offense going after Garrett Cole's 16 strikeout performance last night. And the offense gets a boost here, Bob. Steven Souza Jr. back in the lineup tonight.
You know, because of the great start that the Diamondbacks got off to over the first month of the season, it was easy to forget that there were some missing pieces. Steven Souza Jr., 0 for 4 in his debut on Thursday, going to slowly work his way back into the everyday player mode, and it shouldn't take too long, and Diamondbacks will welcome him back offensively.
Up against the unbeaten starter for the Astros, Charlie Morton. It's Zack Greinke for the D-backs tonight.
Right guy on the mound at the right time. Zack Greinke in 13 starts the last 2 years after a D-backs lost is 10-2. You see his numbers in 6 starts this year. The ERA is a little skewed. He gave up a couple of 3-run home runs twice that really hurt his ERA.
Looking for a Cinco de Mayo win. It's Los D-backs and the Astros on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By APS. APS works 24/7 to keep you plugged in, powered up, and connected. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Arizona Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. And by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. Well, that sensational Gerard Dyson catch, really the only D-backs highlight last night. Tonight, it's Zack Greinke on the mound, and the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Here tonight, nice and comfy inside. Welcome in Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, Kate Longworth, Oscar Soria, Rodrigo Lopez along the way on Fox Sports Arizona Plus, your Spanish language broadcast tonight. Troy Lavello's D-backs 21-11, the best record in the National League, but stuck in a 3-game losing streak. And they're up against the World Series champions. Garrett Cole was sensational here last night, a 16 strikeout effort. And Zack Greinke faces this lineup tonight. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
George Springer once again will lead it off out in center field. He had 3 hits last night. Jose Altuve will be at second base. Carlos Correa at shortstop. Yuli Gurriel with 4 knocks last night will be at first base. Josh Reddick out in right field. Alex Bregman at third base once again. Veteran Brian McCann behind the plate tonight. Marwin Gonzalez will be out in left field, and right-hander Charlie Morton on the mound.
And your Ram truck starter for the D-backs, or tonight the Los D-backs on this Cinco de Mayo. Right-hander Zack Greinke, 3-2 in 6 starts. The ERA right at 4.5. Greinke coming off his second win this season against the Dodgers. He beat LA here Monday night with a season-high 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, punched out 10 in only 6 innings of work. Walked 1 batter, gave up 4 hits in that ball game. Yeah, I mentioned his career, or his season ERA at 4.50, inflated by a 3-run homer by Jose Martinez in the second start of the year. And 2 starts ago, Aaron Altera of the Phillies hit a 3-run homer late in his outing to really skew his ERA.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look at the D-backs defense around the diamond.
Steven Souza Jr. out in right field. A.J. Pollock will be in center field. David Peralta over in left. It'll be Daniel Descalso and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Ketel Marte back in the lineup at second base. He'll be next to Paul Goldschmidt at first. Jeff Mathis doing the catching as usual for right-hander Zack Greinke.
Mike DeMuro is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Roberto Ortiz at first base. The crew chief Brian Gorman's at second base. And Dan Isonia is our third base ump tonight. The second of a 3-game set, the D-backs and the Astros. Houston has been very good on the road this year, 11-4 away from Minute Maid Park. They've won their last 7 road games, and George Springer will lead it off.
Well, this Astros offense was extremely aggressive when they got pitches around the strike zone last night. They did not waste any time jumping on Chris Medlin early.
Yeah, they are up there hunting for fastballs, swinging early in counts. Springer singled 3 times and scored 3 times last night. He leads it off. Good example right there. Got a fastball, 0-1. George Springer has a 14-game hitting streak against the D-backs. He has hit safely in every game he's ever played versus Arizona. A career batting average against the Diamondbacks of nearly .460. So he's been a tough out. And he's at it again. That's by Ahmed and into center. A base hit for Springer starts us off.
Well, everything we said about George Springer, you can say about Jose Altuve. Steadily hunting fastballs, not afraid to swing early in the count, and had a big night last night for the Astros.
The Astros leading hitter, batting .333. He's got 2 home runs. Doubled twice and walked twice last night. He scored 3 times. Springer not much of a threat to run down there. He's more of a power threat as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, it's funny watching the Astros take batting practice. We've talked about Mark McGwire as a player and Sammy Sosa as a player, and coming out here and watching those guys take batting practice and putting on a show. Jose Altuve is the shortest player on the field, no matter what field he's on, and everybody gathered around the cage to watch him take batting practice.
The reigning American League MVP. He has led the league in hits each of the last 4 years. Won his 3rd batting title last season. Chase to high fastball. That's a home run cut from Altuve, and it's 1-2. Jeff Mathis, as always, behind the plate for Zach Greinke. Lifted in the air, right center field. Some sun coming through the glass out there. AJ's got it, 1 away. Souza Jr. out there in right is really going to have to fight the sun with this local 5-10 start.
Yeah, maybe just for an inning or 2 out there in right field. It's kind of odd to have the roof and panels closed and an outfielder battling the sun, but that's exactly what Steven Souza Jr. was doing out there in right field.
Hot out there today. Going to be hotter tomorrow, we're told. Speaking of hot, Carlos Correa. 311, 5 home runs. That OPS leads Houston by nearly 100 points. Got to get that back foot planted in there just so. Springer holding all the way. A fastball is in there.
There's a story told that former Cardinal pitcher, Hall of Famer Bob Gibson was facing a rookie who did exactly what Carlos Correa did. He was digging a big hole in the back of the batter's box, and Gibson walked halfway to home plate and said, "Dig it deep enough to bury yourself."
I was going to say, I think I know where that story's going. That youngster didn't last too long. Got the slider, and it's 0-2. Correa doubled twice last night. He knocked in 3 runs.
Looking for that soft contact on the ground right here. Try to roll that inning-ending double play, get his team back in the dugout, and hope the bats wake up tonight.
It was a long night last night. 16 strikeouts for Garrett Cole, a 1-hit shutout. Got him on a changeup. Fastball, slider, changeup. Greinke worked the whole arsenal there virtually against Correa.
Well, that's a good pitch. Just off that outside corner, fading down low and away.
One of the big boppers for Houston last night, Yuli Gurriel.
Watch the first pitch.
Yeah, he did that a bunch of times last night. He had 4 hits and 3 RBIs. They were ready. Off speed pitcher. Breaking ball got him, and it's 0-1. Gurriel on a 6-game hitting streak after his 4-hit night last night. He had been slumping. He raised his batting average for the season nearly 40 points in one night. Zach Greinke faced this Houston lineup once last year. It was August 14th here at Chase Field. And Zach was outstanding. 6 2/3 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts to get the win. You'd take that again tonight. Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet.
Zach Greinke, a guy Torey Lovullo says knows the opposition as well as anyone he's ever seen. And Greinke against this type of loaded lineup can get very clinical in his approach, how to attack him, and he really seems to thrive on this sort of competitive aspect of the matchup. He likes to get in there against these types of lineups. Goldie over there, but it's going to drift behind the dugout and out of play.
It's one thing to have a good game plan. It's another thing to go out and execute it. And Zach, for the most part, has been able to do that from start to start.
Josh Reddick would be next. 2 out Springer at first. 2-2 on Yulieski Gurriel.
You said that the Astros don't run much. Springer doesn't run much himself. Alex Bregman, the third baseman, leads the team in stolen bases with 3.
Daniel Descalso at third. Greinke strands the leadoff single. D-backs coming up at Chase Field. Truck starting pitcher for the Astros. It's Charlie Morton, 34-year-old right-hander. The numbers are impressive. 4-0, a 1.72 ERA. In 6 starts, he's given up a total of 7 earned runs.
36 2/3 innings, 45 punch-outs for Charlie Morton. He's kind of reinvented himself as a member of the Astros. He used to be a sinker, slider, split-finger pitcher. Now he is a power 4-seam fastball and a nasty curve.
Yeah, you'll see consistent 96 to 98 miles an hour. Peralta leads it off, 288 and 5 home runs. David walked against Gerrit Cole last night, one of only 2 D-backs base runners in the ball game. Peralta walked in the 4th. Owings doubled in the 5th, and that was all the offense as Cole punched out 16. His first career shutout. There is the Morton curveball, and it's a really, really effective pitch, especially against left-hand batters.
Yeah, it's not a roller. That's a sharp, late-breaking curveball. He throws hard. The last one at 77 miles an hour.
And he'll back it up with 96 and north of that. 4-seam and a 2-seam fastball. That was one right there at 97. As you said, Bob, this used to be a guy, Charlie Morton, who just beat you to death with sinkers, one after the other. He was throwing that pitch more than 60% of the time. But this year, that sinker percentage is less than half that, and he's throwing just about the same number of curveballs as he is sinking fastballs. There's another curve right there. That has developed into his big pitch. There it is right there. This is a guy who has really evolved over the course of a long career.
Oh, and at 34, still able to make the necessary adjustments to continue being an effective pitcher at the major league level. I mean, more than effective. He's been really, really good.
Well, good at bat so far by Peralta. Full count 3-2 with Descalso on deck. He walked the leadoff man, missed at 97. Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup tonight.
David Peralta, the left fielder, led it off with a base on balls right there. He'll be followed by Daniel Descalso down at third base, Paul Goldschmidt at first, A.J. Pollock out in center field, Steven Souza Jr. out in right with Ketel Marte at second, Nick Ahmed at short, Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Daniel Descalso in the 2-hole tonight. 231 and 3 homers. Astros have 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. Boy, Morton's really having trouble early with his fastball. He's missing wildly with it. But these left-hand batters for the D-backs may be up against it tonight. Charlie Morton comes into this start having given up only 5 base hits to lefties all year, all of them singles. For whatever reason, his pitch mix really seems to work on left-hand batters.
You know, talking to the Astros broadcasters, they say that Charlie Morton's curveball is better against left-handed hitters. They think occasionally against a right-hander he tends to get around the ball. It has more of a sweep across the plate. That curveball he throws to lefties breaks straight down. 5 for 55 this season. That's an .091 batting average for left-handed hitters.
Well, he's spraying that fastball all over the place. Brian McCann not liking what he sees. So there's a mound visit early in the first inning. And it's 2-0 on Descalso. Missed again at 96. He's thrown 10 pitches, Charlie Morton, 7 of them balls. Goldie on deck. He missed with another one. Back-to-back walks open up the D-back first, and here comes Goldie. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Astros defense tonight.
George Springer out in center field. He'll be flanked by Marwin Gonzalez in left, Josh Reddick in right field. Alex Bregman will be at third base with Carlos Correa at short. Jose Altuve at second. Yuli Gurriel at first base. Brian McCann, the veteran, behind the plate today for right-hander Charlie Morton.
A chance for Goldie, slumping at 239. 0 for 3 last night. He struck out twice. Tried the curveball.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a funk for Goldie. 0 for his last 16 with 10 strikeouts, and some of them were very awkward looking at bats.
He has struck out twice in each of his last 6 games.
And only 1 RBI in his last 17 games. I believe that came on a sacrifice fly.
And you know, in his first at bat against Gerrit Cole last night, Bob, I thought, okay, maybe Goldie snapping out of it. He lined out hard to right field his first time up last night. but then struck out on his next 2 at-bats. Got the call on the fastball that hit the corner. It's 2-1. Charlie Morton has given up only 1 first-inning run all season. 2 on and no outs. Goldie ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. He does not look comfortable out there. A very skittish start. Missed with another fastball. He really cannot locate that fastball. He's walked the first 2. He's gone 3-1 to Goldie with A.J. Pollock on deck. 15 pitches, only 4 strikes. Mike DeMuro, that's something that Mike DeMuro will do. He's a low strike umpire. He doesn't call high strikes a lot, but he will give you those pitches down low at the knees or just below like that one was. Something to watch for over the course of the ball game tonight. So now it's full 3-2. He's walked the first 3. Here comes A.J. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealer's key to the game.
Yeah, we've talked a lot already about Charlie Morton and how he's transformed himself into a power pitcher. And with apologies to REO Speedwagon, the D-backs need to roll with the changes. Charlie Morton in his days in Pittsburgh was a sinker slider pitcher, tried to put the ball on the ground, but he is not that guy anymore and really struggling with his fastball command early.
McCann makes a second mound visit. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, will join them. Pollock will hit, bases full and nobody out. 299 and 10 home runs. Boy, Charlie Morton, this is a guy who just dominated the Yankees in his previous start. That was Monday. 7 2/3 against the Yankees. He gave up only 2 hits and had 10 strikeouts. Took a no-hitter into the 6th inning in that start. But he's in a mess right here. Bases full and no outs.
He's already thrown 17 pitches in this inning. Nobody out. Bases loaded. The most pitches Garrett Cole threw last night in one inning was 20.
Wow.
And he struck out the side in that inning.
Chance to put a big crooked number up there right out of the gate. He's just missing with fastballs. That's what's amazing. It's not like the curveball isn't there. The ball's moving too much with the sinker. These are 4-seamers. And he can't throw a strike. That one's in there, 1-1.
As a catcher, occasionally you feel like you need to help your pitcher. So instead of just pumping fastball after fastball when he's having trouble commanding it, maybe mix in a breaking ball, maybe call for that slider that he rarely uses. Just make him throw something and get it in the strike zone and hope he can find the release point on that fastball if you're Brian McCann.
Well, against the World Series champs, you need to take advantage of these opportunities. A.J. hits a fly ball to Marwin Gonzalez in left. Peralta's at third, and here he comes. Here's the throw. It's offline, and it's 1-0 D-backs.
Pretty aggressive send right there by Tony Parachica, or a pretty aggressive go by David Peralta. That wasn't a very deep fly ball to left field. Marwin Gonzalez was camped underneath. It got off a strong throw to the plate. Fortunately, it was to the first base side of home, and David able to get on the plate easily.
Steven Souza Jr. His career numbers right there with the Nationals and Tampa Bay Rays. His second game as a D-back. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in his debut Thursday afternoon against the Dodgers. He missed the first 30 games of the season after straining a right pectoral muscle on a diving catch attempt in spring training. That was March 21st.
And if you haven't seen Steven Souza Jr., you'll notice right away he's very similar to Goldie as he's standing in the batter's box waiting for Morton to deliver the pitch. He's got that bat pointed straight down toward the ground behind his back. And as the pitch is delivered, much like Goldie, he gets into a really good hitting position.
And he's a little bigger than Goldie too. He's a big dude up there at 6'4", 225. There's that bat back there like that. Fastball at the knees. Morton starting to find that pitch a little bit. It's 1-2. Steven Souza Jr. acquired from Tampa Bay, part of a 3-team deal that sent Brandon Drury to the Yankees right after spring training opened up. '96 under the chin, 2-2.
Good to see the D-backs get David Peralta home on that A.J. Pollock sac fly. They've really struggled with less than 2 outs and a runner at third base. They've scored that man only 39% of the time this year. League average is 49%.
I'll start off the game with 3 walks. You hope to do better than 1 run. And you might need to against these guys. Pitch number 25 in the inning from Charlie Morton on the way. This is tapped to third. Bregman charges. Close at first, but they get him. The runners move up. Now it's second and third, 2 outs for Ketel Marte. Bregman can really play a good third base.
Very close down there at first. Strong throw by Bregman across the diamond, just ahead of Steven Souza Jr. down there at first base.
Well, it's up to Ketel Marte. He's got Descalso at third and Goldschmidt at second. A run is in, 2 outs. Marte 224 with 1 home run. The switch hitter batting from the left-hand side. Ketel was off last night against the right-hander Garrett Cole, which was a little interesting. Usually he'd be in there, but instead he's working on some mechanical inconsistencies. They put him through a full workday yesterday, trying to get that swing a little more consistent from both sides of the plate. So he's in there batting left-handed against the right-hander Morton tonight. Missed with a curveball, 1-1. Marte over his last 16 games is hitting 177. Trying to get it going.
Yeah, we documented Goldie's struggles recently, and it's really not just Goldie. It's not just Ketel Marte. It's team-wide. They're 8 for their last 53 with runners in scoring position.
Slaps that one foul down the left field line. And that's, I think, Bob, something that ties into the tired bullpen. Their offense has put their bullpen in some tough spots this year, and it's starting to wear them down a bit. A lot of close games. And that takes a toll after a while. This is game number 33 on the year. Day off so far for Chris Owings.
It seems like we've had some runs this year where every opportunity for the bullpen was a high leverage situation. Every guy that came trotting out of that bullpen had to be perfect.
See, Morton really likes that curveball against lefties. Missed with it there, and it's 2-2. Nick Ahmed hoping to get a chance. It's about to become a 30-pitch first inning for Charlie Morton. Went back to that curveball, and it's full 3-2. He's already walked 3 in the inning.
Very nearly got him on the back foot right there. That hard curveball down and in actually hit between his feet and bounced over the back foot.
Well, he's about to throw pitch number 31. That matches a season high for Morton for pitches in any single inning. He walked him. 4 bases on balls in the first. They're loaded again, and here comes Nick Ahmed.
This has to be a tough situation for A.J. Hinch. He has seen his right-hander be really good this year. And I'm sure there have been stretches where maybe his command wasn't as good as it can be, but this is highly unusual for Charlie Morton.
Well, so far he's only given up 1 run. They're loaded with 2 outs. Nick at 232 and 5 homers.
Just a question of how much faith, how much confidence, how much trust do you have that Charlie Morton can find it.
Another curveball. That bullpen's going to have to get it cranked up. Colin McHugh, the right-hander. Drifting toward the seats and out of play. Nick Ahmed hitless in his last 3 games following a 6-game hitting streak. 8 for 20 with 3 homers this year when batting with runners in scoring position. .33 pitches, only 13 strikes for Charlie Morton. He's walked 4. Missed with a fastball again. Correa at shortstop. D-backs load the bases twice in the inning. They can only get 1, but they take the early lead.
Greinke trying to right the ship and snap the Diamondbacks' 3-game losing skid. While other major league teams have experienced the taste of defeat, it took 5 weeks into the season for the Diamondbacks to drop back-to-back games, and now that they're in uncharted territory with this losing skid, well, there's no need to push the panic button, the team says. David Peralta explained, hey, this is baseball. Things like this are going to happen. Nick Ahmed went on to tell me that the team has kept their same approach, kept their confidence. They know that they can turn this around. And Archie Bradley went on to say, maybe this is a good thing. With times like this happen, you're tested, you guys can come together. And they also mentioned they might be a little superstitious, and today might have been the day they switched up maybe their route to work or pregame meal, guys.
Well, that's always a good tip, Kate. That usually works out for you, I know.
I did it today.
Josh Reddick.
Pick a different route. Absolutely. Yeah, turn right instead of left when you come out your driveway. Make it a different trip to the ballpark. Anything to break up the bad mojo.
They've lost a season high 3 in a row. Floats a curveball up there. Souza has it in right. 4 in a row set down by Greinke. Brings up Alex Bregman, the third baseman. Bregman batting .252. He's got 1 home run. Doubled and walked last night. He's hit safely in 3 straight games. Floats a slider up there, 0-1. Doubled up on the slider, left that one up. Put in a bad spot though. It's 0-2. Greinke has had the strikeout pitch working lately, Bob. 19 strikeouts in his last 2 starts.
I was just going to say that slider was so bad it turned out to be good. Left it up there above the letters, and Bregman fouled it straight back.
He had kind of a disgusted look on his face, Alex Bregman. He knew he missed one. Comes at him with a fastball. It stays 0-2.
It's a common thread among hitters in baseball when you're facing one of the best in the game, and you know you're just not going to get many cookies. You're not going to get a lot of mistakes that you can just whirly-bird, and when you get one and miss it, that's really frustrating.
Here's the slow Greinke curveball. He continues to pitch very well in this ballpark, Zach Greinke. He's 2-0 in 3 starts at Chase Field this year. Last year, Zach was 13-1 here at home in 18 starts. Fastball is bounced over the mound, up the middle and into center. A 1-out single for Bregman.
Yeah, talking about Zach Greinke here at Chase Field, over the last 2 years, he's got the most wins in the major leagues, tied for 4th in innings, 2nd in on base percentage. I mean, the numbers are just fantastic for Zach here at Chase Field.
The veteran catcher Brian McCann. .269. He's homered twice. We saw Max Stassi behind the plate last night, who caught the Garrett Cole shutout. Floats the first pitch curveball up there. D-backs have the shift on. They overload the right-hand side.
Good man to turn to right here. Brian McCann, veteran catcher, just doesn't quite have the spring in his legs that he did as a youngster.
Now 34 years old. He was a 7-time All-Star in Atlanta. That's where he played the first 9 years of his career. Was with the Yankees for a while, came over to Houston before last season and won a World Series.
Well, there was a period of time when he was with the Atlanta Braves. He had all kinds of vision issues. Really had a lot of trouble seeing. Tried different contacts, different glasses. Just couldn't find anything that was comfortable for him. You see him still squint once in a while as he looks out there to the mound.
That's funny. He and Freddie Freeman both went through that issue with the Braves when they were teammates. Jammed him with a fastball. Descalso's the only guy over there. 2 down. Our first look in the series at Marwin Gonzalez, who had the night off last night. .229 and 2 home runs, the left fielder. Well, this is a guy that you win a World Series with, Marlon Gonzalez. He plays all over the field, and I mean everywhere. Everywhere but pitcher and catcher. Greinke showing that curveball a lot here.
Yeah, you know, you see it a lot around the National League. Diamondbacks have a couple of guys that can play multiple positions. Marwin Gonzalez serves that role for the Houston Astros. We always go back to Ben Zobrist, the original super utility man.
That's the role they envisioned for Chris Owings this year before Steven Souza Jr. got hurt and CO had to commit primarily to right field. Gonzalez splitting most of his time this year between left field and first base. But he's played second, short, third, all over, and he switch hits.
And with the trend for a lot of teams to carry the extra pitcher in the bullpen, it certainly makes all the sense in the world to have somebody on your bench that can play multiple positions.
And they have a guy who's primarily just a DH in Evan Gattis too, so that locks up another spot on the roster. Boy, Zach is really mixing things up. We've seen a lot of curveballs. We've seen a bunch of sliders. He's thrown some hard changeups. That's the fascinating thing about watching Zach Greinke pitch. It's a different plan of attack every time out.
Yeah, we talked about it when he faced the Dodgers the last time out, struck out 10 in 6 innings, and the Dodgers were a team that had given him a lot of issues. They laid off his borderline pitches. They didn't chase that changeup down low in the zone. So last time out against the Dodgers, he was just pounding four-seamers in the middle of the strike zone and rolling that big slow curve up there. Gave the Dodgers a look they hadn't seen from him before.
And he's already beaten the Dodgers twice this year. We head to LA next week. Dodgers resuming their series in Monterrey, Mexico, where they had a combined no-hitter last night. They're tied up with the Padres 3-3 in the 5th inning. Rockies lead at the Mets 1-0. Giants leading at Atlanta 9-2. Called strike 3, a slider at the knees. Mike DeMuro rings him up. Second strikeout for Greinke, and the D-backs lead at 1-0. like DeMuro, he is a guy who will call strikes at the bottom of the zone. He won't often give you the high strike, but the low strike or pitches just off the corners he will give to the pitcher. And we saw it there, Bob, to win the top half of this inning with Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah, our strike zone says it caught the bottom of the zone, but then it continued to break farther down. And when Jeff Mathis caught it, the webbing of his glove was actually on the ground. You could see why Marwin Gonzalez had an argument there.
So we'll see if either pitcher takes advantage, especially Morton, who's got a very good sinker ball. Diamondbacks sent 7 batters up to the plate against Charlie Morton in the first inning. They had the bases loaded twice, but they scored only 1 run. Morton walked 4 in that inning. The D-backs lead it 1-0, but they still do not have a base hit.
That might be the first time I've seen that this year, and it used to be a common occurrence in the game of baseball. Jeff Mathis asked Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, to check the ball.
And Mathis gets into one. Fly ball to left field, but Marwin Gonzalez is there, 1 away.
As we know, in the game nowadays, the ball doesn't last more than a few pitches, and they throw it out of the game and get a new one in the game, sometimes every pitch.
But is that significant because he's starting the inning with that baseball and may have had a chance to do something with it? Who knows?
Possibly. You know, at the end of the warm-ups, the catcher throws the ball down to second base, and in the past, catchers were known to intentionally skip the ball into second base in the dirt, so the pitcher started the inning with a big scuffle on the baseball.
I don't believe that for a moment.
Well, that's just a rumor that I heard.
Unfounded. Greinke now. Morton in that wild first inning when he walked 4 simply could not throw a fastball for a strike. So we'll see if he gets command of it here. Now he wants a new baseball. Going to throw that one out. There's another fastball. Well out of the zone. It's 1-1. Boy, this is really wild to watch a guy who's been this good this year struggle this much. Jammed him with a fastball. Bregman at third.
Hey fans, Mother's Day is next Sunday. That's right, next Sunday. Spend time with mom, family, and friends in air-conditioned Chase Field. The first 10,000 moms will get the D-backs tote bag courtesy of bubbly sparkling water. Visit dbacks.com for tickets.
That is a very hot Mother's Day item. A lot of folks ask for tickets on Mother's Day so they can get the tote bag for mom. Peralta walked and scored the game's only run to lead it off. It was a 35-pitch first inning for Charlie Morton. 2 outs on 4 pitches so far to start the second.
Boy, for Charlie Morton, that's the 30th fastball he's thrown in this game. Only 14 for strikes.
Wow.
I mean, that's supposed to be your bread and butter pitch. For any pitcher in the major leagues, you should be able to spot that fastball wherever, whenever you want. But Charlie Morton just can't find a good release point to consistently hit that strike zone.
Well, A.J. Hinch was saying that this guy, Charlie Morton, has evolved so much. Everything tends to work off his curveball. Peralta toward the pool and gone. The first hit for the D-backs, and it's 2-0. A ricochet into the pool.
Well, you think back to last night's game, David Peralta, even though he didn't get a hit, had some of the best at bats against Garrett Cole, and he times that curveball perfectly, bangs it out there off the facing of the concourse into the pool.
Those left-hand batters know to look for that curveball. Morton loves that pitch against lefties, and Peralta was ready for it. There's another example of DeMuro not giving that high strike. It's 1-0. A jumbo jack, a free jumbo jack tomorrow. A jack in the box for the purchase of a large drink. Astros have the shift on against Descalso.
Boy, this would be a great night for the D-backs offense to break out for obvious reasons, score some runs, win a ball game, but a big crowd here that is really anxious to have some fun tonight.
It's a fun atmosphere in here. It has been all day, all around the ballpark with our Cinco de Mayo fiesta. Street festival, all kinds of activities going on out there. Sugar Skull t-shirt giveaway today, and this place is full. As the D-backs take on the World Series champs, they lead it 2-0. Boy, I can't believe how much he's missing with that fastball. It's not like it's just off the plate. He's missing by 3 feet.
Boy, and good on the Diamondbacks hitters for taking those pitches. You know, you want to be aggressive against a guy who has a reputation as a strike thrower, but when you see him struggling with his command, you've got to be a little more patient.
That one's in there, and it's full 3-2.
I mean, your whole game plan may change against Charlie Morton based on what we saw in that first inning. Really struggling to command anything. So maybe you take a little bit more of a patient approach. Try to get some counts in your favor and really let it out.
Challenge him with a fastball. Swing and a miss. Gets his first strikeout. D-backs get another run. They lead it 2-0. That's awesome. David Peralta's 6th home run of the year has made it 2-0 D-backs. Fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app, take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go.
Boy, that is a styling shirt right there.
Ooh. Yeah, we're going to need those for the road trips. The pitcher Charlie Morton leads off the Houston third against Zach Greinke. Greinke has been great at home. The Astros have been great on the road. They've won 7 straight road games. That's well hit. Peralta has to play it on a hop, and Morton has a leadoff single. Leadoff man George Springer single to start the ball game. Meaning he's hit safely in all 15 games he's played against the D-backs in his career.
Boy, George Springer has a nice looking bat.
It's pretty.
Got that light gray finish on the barrel. They didn't have pretty bats like that when I played.
Took a big cut at a changeup. Yeah, that's lovely. That's like an art school project or something.
Wood shop.
It's all shiny. we'll go down to the store and buy you one.
Jake Lamb with a gray bat down in the team shop.
You can buy all those genuine game used articles right here at the ballpark. Bases, bats, balls, jerseys. They have a thing down there they call the mystery jersey. It's a brown grocery bag, and there's a game worn jersey in there, and it's $100, and it could be anybody. So you can go in there and buy one. Buy some dirt from the wild card game last year in its own special bottle. Got a lot of cool stuff in there. 1 and 2. George Springer, last year's World Series MVP. Hit 5 home runs in the World Series last year. Double play ball for Ahmed. Marte for 1, and that's it.
Nick had to back up a step or two to get the hop he was looking for right there, and that eliminated any chance of turning a double play. Charlie Morton didn't even bother to go all the way to the bag at second. He just peeled off into right field to get out of the way, but no relay throw to first.
So Springer at first. 1 out for Altuve, who flied out his first time up. .331 on the year. And again, the most casual approach in the game. While he's waiting for the pitcher to watch the sign. Just puts the bat on one shoulder.
It almost looks like he has called timeout, and he's just kind of standing there waiting for the umpire to tell him to get back in the box.
He used to do a thing where he took his batting helmet off before every pitch, and it got a little involved. He's toned it down somewhat, but watch when he waits for the pitcher. There's the helmet. Now the bat goes on one shoulder, and he just kind of chills there for a while.
A little housekeeping.
And now we're set to go. Took a big hack at a fastball. Altuve's played 16 games at Chase Field and hit safely in all but one of those games. And in 16 games here, he's got 13 extra base hits.
Wow.
He doubled twice last night.
Well, we've already had one short athlete reach the winner's circle today. Justify won the Kentucky Derby. Mike Smith, the jockey aboard, 5'4", 114 pounds. Jose Altuve could post him up.
Altuve 5'6". Throw to first, and Springer's just barely back in time. Roberto Ortiz down there.
Now, Jose Altuve has a couple of inches and 50 pounds on Mike Smith. Going into the far back corner of the bag right there is Springer, and make that first baseman drag the tag as far as you can to get back to that bag. Leaning out on the right foot as that pitch got into the hitting zone. That made it a close play.
Yeah, that may have been the difference maker for Springer there. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jose Altuve. Last year's American League MVP. Change up from Greinke that time, and it's 3-1. Correa on deck. .40 pitches for Zach Greinke, 28 strikes. No walks. He struck out 2. He's given up 3 hits, all singles, keeping Springer close down there at first. Well, that slider looked like it caught part of the strike zone. Greinke upset. That's his first base on balls.
Well, here's how you attack one of the best hitters in the game. Change up in the dirt, a fastball away. Missed just off the plate with that fastball. That was a hanging changeup right there. I'm sure that's not where he wanted it to go, but he really wanted that last pitch on the inside corner and didn't get the call.
So it's 2 on and 1 out for Carlos Correa, who struck out his first time up. This is blasted deep to center. Pollock at the wall, and he's got it. A.J. Pollock, go get him.
That ball was smoked to straightaway center field right over the head of A.J. Pollock. Got a great jump as usual, and right at that little corner there where the padding sticks out near the 407 mark, he kind of bounces off the wall. Just flings the ball back into the infield. He knows he's got 2 runners that are somewhere on the bases. Got it in quickly. The 2 runners on base had to go back to their bags.
Correa hit it to the wrong guy. Here's Yuli Gurriel. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. It's 0-1. Here's another Greinke curveball.
And there's another Gurriel first pitch swing.
He is so aggressive.
I mean, there's an old joke in baseball. If you throw the rosin bag up there, there are some hitters that would swing at it, and I think Gurriel's one of them.
Springer is at second, Altuve at first, and 2 outs. There's the changeup. Seen some very aggressive swings so far from these Houston hitters against that Greinke change.
He has that changeup grip, the circle change grip. Starts with that and then adjusts to whatever pitch he's going to throw.
Descalso knocks it down at third, and the bases are loaded.
Probably a little better pitch than Zach wanted to make ahead in the count. Gurriel hits it hard down there to third base. Just off the little finger of the glove down there.
That scored a base hit for Gurriel. And the batter now is Josh Reddick. Bases full, 2 down. Reddick flying out his first time up. Greinke didn't get the call on the inside slider to Altuve. And now we got a ground ball out of Gurriel, but still some work to do. Springer at third, Altuve's at second, and Gurriel at first. D-backs have 3 infielders on the right-hand side against the left-hand batting Reddick. There's that low strike call, a fastball down and away. 1-1. Reddick this year has 2 grand slams, 7 for his career. Here's the changeup, darting down and away from the left-hand batter from the right-hand pitcher, and it's 1-2. Big crowd here this afternoon on Cinco de Mayo. Greinke going to burn a mound visit here. He's got bases full. He wants to be sure.
Well, there aren't many times that the pitching coach has to make a mound visit, so Zach Greinke knows how many visits they're allowed during the course of the ball game. Obviously a pivotal moment in the game right here with the bases loaded. This is a big pitch upcoming.
You see Descalso, the only defender, midway between second and third. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Josh Reddick. 2-2. Breaking ball away. Pregame would be next. Greinke's on it, coming home. They get the force on Springer, and he leaves him loaded. $50-50 charity raffle brought to you by the Arizona Lottery. Right there from home along with all of us at the ballpark. It's your chance to win half the pot. Help the kids in our community. Tickets can be purchased online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And the winning number gets revealed on the D-backs live postgame show. Stay tuned to see if you've won. Going to have some big jackpots here this weekend. Already up to $36,000. Goldie leads off the third. He walked his first time up. Charlie Morton walked 4 in the first inning. D-backs had the bases loaded twice, could only get 1 run home. They added their second on David Peralta's home run in the second inning, his 6th of the year. Morton now at 50 pitches and only 23 for strikes. That's the splitter there. He'll mix in a split finger pitch and a cutter. But it's mostly the 2 fastballs, 4-seam, 2-seam, and the curveball. Looking for something he can throw for a strike. Goldie over his last 14 games has struck out in half his at bats. And he's hitting over that span just .220. It's been a tough ride here for a couple of weeks. I know he's frustrated. Torrey's been very patient. It's going to change. You know it is. Just wild with that fastball. 3-2. AJ knocked in the game's first run with a sacrifice fly. He'll be next. Steven Souza Jr. after that. A bouncer for Bregman. Charlie Morton just keeps asking for one new baseball after another. Here's Pollock. First pitch swinging. Center field for Springer. Steven Souza Jr. making his second start of the year. He played Thursday against LA, had last night off. In there in right field tonight, he grounded out his first time up. Looking for his first base hit as a Diamondback. Astros with 3 infielders on the left-hand side. Missed with another fastball, and it's 1-0. Souza with the Tampa Bay Rays last year had by far the best season of his career. Hit 30 homers, stole 16 bases, played outstanding defense in right field. Hard to shortstop. Correa is there. An easy inning for Charlie Morton. 9 pitches. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Cinco de Mayo at Chase Field, a huge crowd here. Festive atmosphere outside the ballpark all day long. Our street fiesta. Beer and margarita garden out there. All kinds of stuff going on outside the ballpark. Inside, it's 2-0 D-backs as Alex Bregman leads off the Astros 4th against Greinke. Slider just off the plate. Bregman singled his first time up. Greinke so far has walked 1, struck out 2. He's given up 4 hits, all singles. There's that slow curveball. That one was just a little bit outside, but Greinke's ahead 0-2. Bregman is a disciplined hitter. He's not a guy that chases pitches outside the zone. He's got more walks than strikeouts this year. His on base percentage is right at .370, and he's already 1 for 1 tonight. Bregman's first full season in the big leagues last year. Hit .284, 19 home runs. A couple of home runs in the division series last October, 2 more in the World Series. He's only 24 years old. Greinke coming off his win over LA here Monday. He struck out a season high 10 Dodgers. Fastball away, not there, and it's 2-2. Even with 2 strikes, Bregman with his discipline was not chasing that pitch. McCann on deck. Giants are beating up the Braves in Atlanta. San Francisco leads at 10-2 in the 8th inning. 2-2. Another curveball. We've seen that pitch a whole bunch tonight from Greinke. Dodgers and Padres are tied up in Monterrey, Mexico, where LA had a no-hitter last night. 3-3. They're in the 6th inning. Rockies leading at the Mets 1-0 in the 9th. Full count, 3-2.
Quite the battle here. The next pitch will be number 10 in this at bat after falling behind 0-2.
Kind of the type of guy that can frustrate Greinke or give him trouble because he doesn't swing at borderline pitches or anything just off the strike zone. And he works a walk. Second base on balls. That's why Bregman's a tough out.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
David Peralta, a solo homer in the 2nd. A.J. Pollock, an RBI sac fly in the 1st. All the scoring so far. Here's McCann, who popped up his first time up. D-backs have the shift on. There's the changeup down low, but it's a strike 0-1.
Nice stop once again. I've said that about 100 times already this season. D-backs catchers really are good at blocking pitches in the dirt. And because of that, their pitching staff has the faith to execute the pitch, even if it means bouncing something in the dirt, because they know their catchers aren't going to let it get by.
Now there's that wet front of home plate where Zach Greinke slipped to end the last inning, the top of the 3rd. Kind of wet and mushy down there. Boy, all changeup so far to McCann. It's 1-2. And now they'll move some pieces around. Descalso takes over near second base where Ahmed had been standing, and Nick moves over to the shortstop spot. Slider missed. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Astros have had the leadoff man on 3 of the 4 innings. So far so good. Zach has not allowed any of them to score.
Got him. Another changeup.
Brian McCann's always been a dangerous left-handed hitter. He's got big pop. Just baffled by that Zach Greinke changeup in this at bat. And if a guy doesn't look like he has a beat on it, keep going back to it. McCann out in front of the last one after seeing a steady diet of him throughout the at bat.
One away for Marwin Gonzalez, who was the strikeout victim his first time, to end the 2nd. Another curveball. The pitcher Morton is on deck. Gonzalez is striking out a whole bunch lately. He's punched out in about 1/3 of his at-bats over the last few weeks. Tonight hitting 8th ahead of the pitcher.
I mentioned before, Bregman leads the team in stolen bases with 3 in 5 attempts.
They're wearing Bregman out down there. Alex Cintrone coaching at first for the Astros. There's a familiar face for D-backs fans.
Alex would have fit right in with this Astros ball club. He liked to swing hard.
AJ in center. Two down.
And Charlie Morton got a base hit in his first at bat, leading off the 3rd inning. Got a pitch up in the zone from Zach Greinke, and a little soft line drive out into left field, but he was stranded.
Charlie Morton. Astros have out hit the D-backs 4-1, but Houston trails at 2-0. Fastball at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Seventy pitches, 48 strikes for Zach Greinke. 0-2 on the pitcher Morton. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Greinke. He strands the leadoff walk, keeps it 2-0 D-backs.
D-backs lead the Astros 2-0. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. In his first major league start as a left-handed pitcher, Tommy Lasorda ties a record, throwing 3 wild pitches in the first inning of a 4-3 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, Tommy figured out his true calling in the game of baseball, went on to manage 3,040 games, won 1,599 of them, 2 World Series championships, 2 times Manager of the Year.
Well, Charlie Morton had a similar kind of first inning here tonight.
Yeah, no kidding.
He walked 4 in the first inning. D-backs twice had the bases loaded against Morton in that first inning, but could only get 1 run home. Ketel Marte leads off the 4th. Gurriel has it 1 away. And Morton threw 35 pitches in that first inning. Gave up only the 1 run, but since then he settled down. Did give up the Peralta homer in the second, but 13 pitches in the second and only 9 in the third. And very quickly here he's got the first out of the 4th.
I'm sure the Giants would be quick to point out to Tommy Lasorda that after he threw 3 wild pitches in 1 inning, they've only thrown 4 all season as a pitching staff.
They comment.
And to add injury to insult, one of his wild pitches came with a runner at third base, and he broke in from the mound to cover home and got spiked on the play at the plate.
I think there was the universe trying to tell Tommy something.
Well, his spot in the rotation, if I'm not mistaken, was taken by another left-handed pitcher by the name of Koufax, I believe it was.
Whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know.
Well, the Dodgers are playing well. They had that combo no-hitter last night in Mexico, and they're playing there again tonight in Monterrey. They lead the Padres 4-3 in the 6th inning. Morton at 60 pitches for the ball game, and still more balls than strikes. He's walked 4. He struck out 1. But he has retired the last 5 batters he's faced since the Peralta homer in the second. Bregman at third. Nice easy hop. And Morton settling in. A.J. Hinch last year did an outstanding job of managing a bullpen that by the time the World Series rolled around was springing some leaks. And you know, he didn't just robot manage according to the analytics. He'd stay with a hot hand when it was working. And Charlie Morton was a really big part of that. He'd been a starter all year, but you might remember Game 7 against the Dodgers in that World Series. It was Morton who came on, worked 4 innings of relief, gave up only 2 hits, and was the Game 7 winning pitcher. He won 2 Game 7s last year for the Astros on their way to the World Championship.
After that wild first inning when he walked 4 batters, Charlie Morton's in the second inning he threw 4 pitches to get 2 outs. In the third inning he threw 7 pitches to get the first 2 outs, and in the 4th inning he's thrown 5 pitches to get the first 2 outs.
D-backs being a little overly aggressive maybe.
They were just so patient in that first inning. Back to back walks to start the game. Ketel Marte later drew a walk.
Yeah, that hurt when he had bases loaded, no outs, bases loaded twice in the inning and only got the 1 run. Against the Astros, that's a missed opportunity, really. And then David added that home run in the second, his 6th of the year. Two and 2 on Jeff Mathis. Zach Greinke on deck.
You know, a lot of players foul the ball off that front leg and they'll fall on the ground and roll around and scream and yell. Jeff Mathis doesn't even acknowledge that he got hit.
He's been beat up pretty good over the course of a very long career.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, a foul ball off the foot is the least of his worries.
Fastball up and in. Morton has set down 7 straight, but the D-backs lead it 2-0. Cinco de Mayo, packed ballpark here at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Astros 2-0. Get your tickets now to see the Diamondbacks and the Nationals here at Chase Field. That's coming up next weekend. Bryce Harper will be in town. Don't miss it. Next Saturday's first pitch is at 1 o'clock, an early afternoon game there. DBacks.com, our showstopper, Joey Gallo in Texas. Boom.
Oh, my.
Look where this one lands. 466. Yikes.
I was telling the guys in the truck, I was thinking about that watching the highlights last night when I got home. The weather's starting to heat up and the ball is starting to fly. You know, that first month it was cold, it was snowy, it was rainy.
You were saying, George Springer onto the concourse out there. That's his 7th, and the Astros are on the board. It's 2-1.
Oh, boy, center cut. I'm sure that's not the location Zach Greinke was hoping for when he let that pitch go, but I'm really surprised they throw anything close to the strike zone, especially to the top of this Astros order. They've shown they're going to be very aggressive on that first pitch in the strike zone.
442 feet on the Springer homer. Here's Altuve. So Springer, who had 3 hits and scored 3 runs last night, has singled and homered so far tonight. His career batting average in 15 games against the D-backs is about 500. Wow. It's right there. Greinke quickly ahead of Altuve. 0-2. He's flied out and walked. That's kind of the way Zach's season has gone in one sense. Even the games that he's lost or not pitched all particularly well in, it's always been a case of that one pitch, like you mentioned, the Aaron Altair slider in Philadelphia 2 starts ago. You take that one pitch out of the ball game, it's a whole new line, a whole new narrative there for that game.
Yeah, same thing against the Cardinals earlier this season. He would have escaped that game, giving up only 2 runs had he not given up the late 3-run homer to Jose Martinez. Same thing in Philadelphia, as you mentioned, with Aaron Altair. He was on his way to a real solid outing that day. Ended up giving up 5 earned runs. Would have been 2.
Well, certainly you can't make those kind of mistakes to Springer, who was last year's World Series MVP. 5 home runs against LA in that series. 2-2 on Altuve. Carlos Correa on deck. He lined out hard to center his last time up. Altuve, who for years has been a tremendous bargain for the Astros, leading the league in hits every year. But that changed this March. Houston signed Altuve to a 7-year, $163 million contract. So he's locked up through 2024. Which is remarkable considering that when he was a tiny little teenager growing up in Venezuela, they sent him home from the tryout camp. They wouldn't even let him try out. Came back the next day anyway. And Al Pedrique was down there. He kind of liked the way that Altuve worked the bat. He liked the speed. Said, hey, we don't have anything to lose. I need 15 grand for this kid. They said, all right, go ahead. And now here he is, the AL MVP.
Now, that's one of those cases where a scout really has to look hard. I mean, it'd be very easy. I don't mean this the way it sounds, to overlook him. Not because he's short, but you know, you look at a baseball field full of ball players and he's probably not the guy you would single out.
2-2. Ahmed at shortstop. Boy, Altuve really busted up the line. Well, a lot of guys would send him home simply because of the height thing. A lot of those, the guy might say, oh, forget it. This kid's 4 feet tall. What are we doing? But he came back and just kept coming back, and now here he is, $163 million in his back pocket.
And he's not the offensive player you would expect a guy 5'8" to be. You know, you think, well, he just slaps the ball around, he bunts, he moves the ball to the right side. No, he's a power hitter.
It's funny, you have that guy there, Altuve, and this guy here, Correa. Now, Correa's on the other end of the thing. This is what the modern day shortstop is supposed to look like. A big, strapping, strong guy, 6'4", 215, tremendous power, super athletic down there. This is the blueprint. It started with Cal Ripken, and now everybody wants a 6'4" shortstop. And Correa, he was the #1 overall pick in a draft. That was back in 2012. Nobody was sending him home from tryout camp.
He was getting invitations to tryouts. Yeah. Showcases.
He attended the Puerto Rico Baseball Academy, where he insisted on learning English because he knew even as a teenager he was going to be a Major League Baseball player. He wanted the language. And the scary thing is he's still only 23 years old. He's been a big leaguer for 3 seasons already and hit at least 20 home runs every year.
Well, good on Carlos Correa. I know some guys that were born right here in the United States that can't speak English.
Yeah, some of them are in the booth just to our right. Wait, what? Nick Ahmed. Talking, of course, about Leo Gilmartin.
Watch the first pitch.
Yuli Gurriel.
He took 2 swings leaving the on deck circle.
He's already down 0-2. The numbers this year, 7 for 11, including a home run on the first pitch of an at bat.
Oh my. Save that video.
Super patient. And sure enough, he's down 0-1. 4 hits last night for Gurriel. He has grounded out and singled tonight. Whoa, there's the eephus at 67. He almost swung out of his shoes. You got an aggressive guy like that up there. This is the pitch. Came back with a slider. Pollock toward right center. But the Astros get on the board. Springer's 7th has made it a 2-1 ball game. Reminder, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. At home, in the office, on the go, MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. That lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. As Zach Greinke leads off the fifth. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. Greinke, Peralta, Descalso 9-1-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Charlie Morton has retired 7 straight since Peralta's solo home run in the second. Greinke sends that down the line in right, and that's a fair ball. Springer's got it in the corner, and Greinke's got a stand-up double. Just the D-backs' second hit tonight against Charlie Morton.
Fastball tailing back toward the outside corner. Zach barrels it down that right field line. Josh Reddick was cheating over toward the line, and he still got it by him down into the corner.
Reddick ran into the fence out there by the bullpen. He's at second, nobody out. Peralta's walked and homered. He scored both D-backs runs. This was David Peralta. 1-0 in the second inning.
Perfectly timed this curveball down and in, and golfed it way out of here over the Ram Trucks pool in right center.
His 6th of the year for number 6. There's the splitter. Morton starting to mix in that pitch a little more often. Now working the 3rd time through the order. He threw 35 pitches in the first inning. Threw a total of 32 in innings 2, 3, and 4. That's a base hit. Here comes Greinke. Freight train digging for second, and he is out of there. But it's 3-1 D-backs.
You see the slide here at second base. The tail end of the play was a high throw back into the infield.
I don't know.
Not so sure there.
And after the foot came off the bag, Altuve had already pulled the glove away. It looked like that foot might have snuck in there. Peralta's not going anywhere. No challenge from the D-backs.
Too close to waste a challenge on right there. It has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call. I don't know if there was enough there.
A run is in. 1 out. Descalso's walked and struck out. Astros have 3 infielders on the right side. Got him on a curveball.
No intent there. This is a curveball. His go-to pitch against left-handed hitters, and just pulls it way inside. Clips Daniel on that right thigh. Putting a base runner on for Goldie here with 1 out in the inning.
Goldie is walked and grounded out 0 for 1. Jumped on a first pitch fastball right down the middle for Morton. Charlie Morton, 76 pitches, 38 balls and 38 strikes. He's walked 2, or pardon me, he struck out 2. He's walked 4. Fastball's right there. Only lets it go. It's 1-2. There's the splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. AJ would be next. Goldie right now trying to snap out of a 2 for 24 skid. Got him on another split finger pitch.
Yeah, 3 fastballs to start the sequence to Goldie. First one was fouled off, a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Second one was taken for a ball down low and away. Comes right back with another 95-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. Laid off that pitch just off the outside corner, but he goes right back to it again. That splitter at 88 for strike 3.
AJ Pollock knocked in the game's first run with a sacrifice fly. He flying out to center his last time up. Astros put 3 infielders on the left side for AJ. There's nothing over there on the right side of the infield.
Well, with Gurriel holding on the runner and the other 3 infielders playing on the left side, yeah, 99 Hopper would get through that right side right now.
Boy, Mike DeMuro just does not like that high strike. 80 pitches, 40 strikes for Morton.
David wants to hit again.
Padres have come back at Monterrey, Mexico to take a 5-4 lead over the Dodgers in the 7th inning. Colorado 2-0 winners against the Mets at Citi Field. Giants 11-2. They lead in Atlanta, 9th inning. Jerry Nair and the bench coach on the right there. 1-1 on AJ Pollock. Descalso at first and 2 outs. Crowd's doing the wave. This place is jumping tonight. A lot of people in here to watch this one. A lot of energy in the ballpark. Terrific Cinco de Mayo atmosphere. Almost 40,000. That is a fair ball. Bregman, tough play. He did that all October for the Astros last year. D-backs add a run. 3-1. Alex Bregman at third base. A long throw almost from the coach's box. Will head to the 6th.
lead to the 6th inning, and while you were sleeping, the Diamondbacks inked veteran Clay Buchholz to a minor league deal. Mike Hazen and Torey Lovella very familiar with the 33-year-old who spent 10 seasons in Boston while they were there. Torey said he's excited to have the righty in the system and confirmed he could factor into the team's rotation if he throws well, saying players really are in charge of their own destiny. For now, Buchholz will head to Reno. He was in town today, threw a bullpen over at Salt River Fields. And guys, we'll just see how this plays out. The D-backs do have a little flexibility in their rotation in the next couple weeks due to some off days.
Thanks, Kate. Clay Buchholz adding to some rotation depth organizationally after Chris Medlin had a tough night here last night. Medlin was sent back to Reno before the game today, and Braden Shipley is back. Now Ship can give them some length in the bullpen if need be over the course of the week, or we may see him start here Friday or Saturday against the Nationals. They're still trying to sort that out, but it's good to have Braden back with us. Getting Scherzer here Friday, Strasburg Saturday. Get your tickets dvax.com. Decent chance that Braden Shipley could start either one of those games, unless he's needed for a long relief stint between now and then.
Yeah, ideally he'll be considered for one of those starts because you won't need him out of the bullpen, hopefully, as a long guy.
Well, you know, we talked about this a little bit last night. TJ McFarland, what a job he did with 4 1/3 innings of relief after Medlin had a tough first 4. The Sheriff Andrew Chafin in the Sanderson Ford bullpen with Greinke now at 95 pitches here. A slider to Rennick missed, and it's full 3-2.
We saw Archie Bradley down there with Andrew Chafin just doing some exercises, starting to get the blood flowing a little bit. I would imagine he'll join Chafin and just begin to play some catch.
But because of what TJ did, guys like Archie and Yoshi Hirano and Brad Boxberger should be good to go tonight. Everybody got a night off in that bullpen last night. TJ 4 1/3. He gave up only 1 run. And Daniel Descalso closed, got the final 2 outs.
What's new?
So his perfect major league pitching record remains intact. He even got his first ever strikeout, rung up Garrett Cole. That was the highlight, not Cole's 16 strikeouts. There's a strikeout. Reddick caught looking at a fastball. That's 5 for Greinke. Alex Bregman has singled and walked. Now, interesting to see how Zach attacks Bregman. We've talked about that. This is a guy that has walked more than he struck out this year. He does not chase pitches out of the zone, and he's seen Greinke already twice tonight.
His last at bat is a perfect example of the kind of hitter that Alex Bregman can be. He was behind 0-2 and ended up working a 10-pitch walk.
Well, the first 2 pitches of that last at bat were like that ephus right there. Pitches that were just off the plate, off the strike zone, but he got called for strikes. Away with the curveball, in with a fastball, and it's 0-2 again. Archie Bradley and Andrew Chafin. Mike Fetters, the bullpen coach. Let it go that time.
Pumping it up a little bit there. That was the 100th pitch of the ball game.
68 strikes. He has walked 2 and struck out 5. Hard changeup, stays 1-2. Alex Bregman out of Albuquerque. Played his college ball at LSU. One of the great college programs in the country. Second curveball in the at bat. 2 down. Well, Zach has retired all 5 he's faced since the Springer homer. McCann is the hitter. The lefty Chafin is ready in the bullpen, and with Greinke over 100 pitches, Tortorella wants the baseball. Greinke out of the game. He leads, leading 3-1. The Sheriff on his way in. Back after this. Plays of the game. Zach Greinke against the World Series champs. Only 1 run through 5 2/3.
Well, as dominating in his own way tonight as Garrett Cole was with the strikeouts last night. Zach had all of his pitches working. He used all of his pitches. He moved them around the strike zone. Now turns it over to the bullpen.
Andrew Chafin on to face Brian McCann to get the final out of the 6th inning. The numbers on Chafin: a 2.31 ERA, his 15th appearance of the year. McCann this year has hit left-handers. He's 7 for 21, including a home run against lefties. D-backs have the shift on. Falling behind 3-0. McCann last year a 227 hitter against left-hand pitching, including 5 homers. Marwin Gonzalez on deck, pitcher spot behind him. And now Abben moves over to his shortstop spot to Scalzo in front of second base ump Brian Gorman. 3-0 on Brian McCann. He walked him. And now he'll flip Gonzalez around to the right-hand side. The switch hitter is 0 for 2. Gonzalez much better as a left-hand batter. He's under 220 this year, batting from the right-hand side. Both his home runs this season have come as a left-hand batter.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago about Ketel Marte and how his batting stance has kind of changed since last year. Changes from at bat to at bat sometimes. Gonzalez is going through a little bit of the same thing. He too is a switch hitter, and right now both sides are a little messed up.
That's the thing with switch hitters. It's 2 separate sets of mechanics. And talking with Dave Magadan, that's one thing that Cattell has kind of gotten away from. They're two different swings from each side of the plate instead of having a consistent look and approach. Some of the things they're trying to iron out. 1-1 on Gonzalez. Yes, he went. Slider, 2 strikes. Evan Gaddis is on deck, set to hit for the pitcher. Should Gonzalez reach? El Oso Blanco, the white bear. Chafin trying to get out of the 6th. Bounced a slider up there. And now McCann advances. Wild pitch.
Partner, we were talking last night about how important 90 feet is when you're playing against good teams with good pitching and good offense. Every 90 feet is a battle. And the Diamondbacks give up 90 feet right here on that 55-foot slider from Andrew Chafin.
And you don't want to give Gaddis a chance with 2 runners on either, because he can change this ball game in a hurry with 1 swing. It's amazing how often those guys score when they get that extra base here and there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Just managed to get a piece. Another slider from Chafin.
No guarantee that McCann can score on a base hit to the outfield if the D-backs charge hard, get off a quick throw. Gary Pettis might have to throw up the stop sign on the Astros catcher.
Well, Archie Bradley, Torrey likes to match him up with the other team's best hitters, and they're all coming up behind Gonzalez, so you can throw Gaddis in that mix. He's on deck. After that, Springer, Altuve, Correa. Still 2-2 on Marwin Gonzalez. Fastball off the plate. It's full. Gaddis would be next. Three and 2. Well, Chafin walked both batters he faced. Now the go-ahead run is at the plate, and it's Gaddis who will hit for the pitcher. Archie in the bullpen. And Torrey Lovullo is going to have to go get the sheriff and bring in the beard. 3-1 D-backs. Back in just a moment. Has put the tying runs aboard. The go-ahead run at the plate here in the 6th inning with 2 outs. Evan Gattis will hit for Charlie Morton. And here is Archie Bradley.
Hoping to right the ship. It was appropriate we had the shot of the big ship's wheel there, because Archie's going to try to get this ship back on track.
Our director Brian Moss painting a picture with words.
I love it.
Or something like that. Images, you're the words?
Pictures,
I don't know.
I don't know.
2 on and 2 out. Here's Evan Gattis. This guy's got kind of a lumberjack approach to things. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. 190 and a homer.
This truly is a battle of the beards right here.
This is it. This is a heavyweight battle of the beards. McCann is at second. Gonzalez at first. Archie last pitched Tuesday against the Dodgers. He threw 16 pitches in that ball game. Look at this. That's a razor commercial waiting to happen.
I was just thinking there's not a razor within 10 miles of those guys.
Maybe a chainsaw. Looked like they just met each other in the woods, wandering around in the wilderness. Hard to third. Descalso's there. Archie Bradley rights the ship. 3-1 D-backs. Moments in D-backs history. Astros right-hander Colin McHugh becomes the first player ever to use the D-backs bullpen cart in a regular season game. We've got one in the books.
How about that?
Good for him. Why walk when you can ride?
Well, either good for him or he's the laziest pitcher in the major leagues.
We'll see how this goes. On in relief of Charlie Morton to start the 6th inning. He's been very good so far. 9 appearances, an ERA under 1. Steven Souza Jr., who's 0 for 2, leads it off for the D-backs. McHugh transitioning to the bullpen this year. Been one of the top relievers in the American League. Souza's grounded out twice. His second start as a D-back, back in right field tonight. Astros have 3 infielders on the left side. There's Bam Bam Balderrama, our Golden Glover, down the left field line. He's got his beard on. And there is Christopher Marino. I still can't get any help from your staff on a Dan Marino type nickname for him. I know it's on the bottom of the priority list for those guys. They're pretty busy.
Right at you, partner.
A little low. Souza's an interesting guy up there. He's one of these guys that strikes out a lot and walks a lot, which is an odd combination, but he's managed to do it. He was top 5 in the American League in walks last year in Tampa Bay. 1-2.
One thing you'll notice, the Astros catcher giving a series of signs with nobody on base.
Something might be amiss.
It's understandable for visiting teams to be paranoid in somebody else's home ballpark. You always wonder, is somebody out there with binoculars flashing signs to the hitter? So to try to combat that, you just use multiple signs even with nobody on base. This should be a fastball up.
I think you have their signs.
Well, the fastball is the only pitch you call for up in the zone. You wouldn't call for a high curveball or a high changeup, but you would call for a high fastball. I'm guessing changeup. Breaking ball that time.
Teams do put guys right in front of the monitors in the video rooms to do just what you're trying to do now.
Sure.
Figure out the signs. That's why we had so many mound visits, which is why we have the new rule. The video aspect of this became a real problem all over the major leagues. Laid off a couple of sliders and it's full 3-2. Ketel Marte on deck. Nick Ahmed after that. D-backs still with only 3 hits in the ball game, but they lead at 3-1. He walked him, a fastball in, leadoff man aboard. Good at bat by Souza, was behind in the count early, worked a walk, and now here's Marte. Marte has walked and grounded out, 0 for 1. Bregman in on the grass at third. Here's a fastball. Souza's got good speed for a big guy. He stole 16 bases last year. So he will run down there with Dave McKay coaching at first. Slider low. Mike DeMuro says strike 2. Now with 2 strikes, the Astros shade over toward the right side. 3 defenders over there. Bregman standing in the shortstop spot. Nobody at third. Fastball away. Ketel Marte's pretty good when he's batting left-handed, just shooting it down that left field line.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the Cactus League when he was batting from the left side of the plate, lining balls through that 5.5 hole into left field.
And Gonzalez in left is playing well over near that line, almost in front of the D-back bullpen. Springer way over toward left center in center field.
We saw this alignment last night for Gerard Dyson. The left fielder is actually closer to the third baseline than any infielder is.
And see how far off the line Reddick is in right field. But yet they've got 3 infielders on the right side.
Well, that's just not random positioning of defensive players. The spray charts would say that Ketel Marte, when he hits the ball, when he pulls the ball, it's on the ground. When he hits it in the air, it's usually to the opposite field.
As a left-hand batter, they probably have a whole different alignment for when he hits right-handed.
Sure.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The cutter that he sneaks in the back door, and McHugh gets his first strikeout.
That's a tough pitch to hit right there. Started over in that right-handed batter's box and cut its way back to that outside corner and just nipped the corner.
Nick Ahmed 0 for 2. Well, the Astros have the leadoff man coming up in the 7th inning. Springer, Altuve, Correa, 1, 2, and 3. You've got Ahmed at the plate, Mathis on deck, Archie Bradley spot behind there. You want Archie pitching the 7th inning, so if they can get some runners on base here, Archie might have to hit. He had to come on after Chafin walked his 2 batters to get the final out of the last half inning. That slider's low, 2-0.
Coming in tonight, Colin McHugh had been really good on the road this year. In 4 road games, a total of 5 1/3 innings, yet to allow a run. Opponents hitting only .059 against the Astros right-hander.
They got so much depth now with Morton and the trade for Verlander and the acquisition of Garrett Cole that they can take a guy like Colin McHugh, who was a pretty good starting pitcher for them for several years, and put him in the bullpen. They got Dallas Keuchel back there. They got Lance McCullers. I mean, they got all kinds of frontline starting pitching. So McHugh's working in relief. There's Dallas Keuchel. Astros fans have a similar beard that they can buy when he pitches at Minute Maid Park. Everybody brings out the beard in Houston. This is a tremendous series for beards with Bradley and Gaddis and Keuchel. A few other guys. Avila, Souza, even Robert Balderrama. That's a beard.
There are probably several woodland creatures in that thing.
Got a woodchuck hiding in there somewhere. 2-1 on Nick Ahmed. Fastball misses in. 3-1. Mathis on deck. Lifted in the air for Reddick in right field. 2 outs.
Yeah, we talked about Colin McHugh being a very effective starter for the Astros. He won 11 games in 2014. He won 19 games in 2015 and 13 as a starter in 2016.
Yeah, he used to spin that curveball up there. Mathis 0 for 2. Bradley out in the on deck circle. Souza, the runner at first, and 2 outs. In the air for Gonzalez, drifting near the line. He's got it. We'll head to the 7th inning. D-backs lead the Astros 3-1. today's big giveaway here at Chase Field, where the D-backs have a 3-1 lead over the World Series champs. As we start the 7th inning, what's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Justin Verlander. Boy, it only gets harder against these guys every day. Verlander on the mound here tomorrow against Matt Cook.
Yeah, just no breather against this Astros starting rotation. Doesn't matter where you catch them. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. You're going to get some good starting pitching.
It is relentless. Archie Bradley got the final out of the 6th inning. And he'll face the top of the order in the 7th. Springer, Altuve, and Correa. Springer homered his last time up in the 5th against Zach Greinke.
Well, Zach didn't make a lot of mistakes today, but that one was right in the middle of the plate for Springer, and he did not miss it. Fortunately, a solo homer.
Other than that, it's been a pretty well pitched ball game. The Astros 1 run on 5 hits. D-backs 3 runs on 3 hits. Springer is 2 for 3. George Springer did not get off to a great start this year. He was hitting about $170 a few weeks into April. But over his last 16 games, he's hit nearly .330. And he's 2 for 3 tonight. He can heat up. There's a fastball at the knees. 2-1. Red glove night for Archie. There is no sequence to the color of the glove. If he's feeling like it's a red glove day, we see the red glove. That's the system. Popped it up. Mathis near the screen. He's got it. That's a big out right there. There's a conspiracy theory out there that Archie wears the red glove when he wears a uniform that has red in it. But Archie said, nope, I don't think about it. If I feel red, I just grab the red glove. That's the latest.
What it is that makes him feel the red glove.
I think we all have days when we're feeling beige. Maybe we're feeling a little teal.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Well, according to his teammates Zach Godley and Andrew Chafin, Archie Bradley could use a different glove every appearance. He's got a whole garage full of them.
He's got some stuff. Ahmed. Altuve 0 for 3, 2 down. What was Chafin saying the other day? Oh, look at me. I'm Archie. I got a beard. Correa's 0 for 3.
And that's what we can actually put on our air. You can imagine those guys in the clubhouse when the cameras are gone and the microphones are put away. They really get on each other.
Yeah, the two country bumpkins, Chafin and Godley, have accused Archie of being fake country because he's just got so much stuff. Little squib shot. Archie gets over there. How about that? He goes right through the top of the order. 1, 2, 3. 3-1 D-backs in the 7th. For another, Alex Avila will pinch hit for Archie Bradley here as we start the bottom of the 7th inning, and we'll remind you that you've got a chance to play catch on the field with your dad before the D-backs Father's Day game against the Mets here on June 17th. If you buy a special ticket package, it's limited now, only a few spaces left, so get your special event ticket right now, dbacks.com/dad, and you can have a catch on the field here at Chase Field. McHugh back out there for the Astros. They have the shift on as Avila hits for Bradley. Alex in there at 148. He's homered twice. Struck out in all 3 of his at-bats against Garrett Cole last night. Houston has the shift on. There's always that point in the Field of Dreams movie at the end where the dad shows up and he says, "Dad, you want to have a catch?"
Yeah.
But our promo says play catch. Is it, do you want to play catch or do you want to have a catch?
I've heard it both ways. Well, we always said play catch. Let's go play catch.
There's that slow McHugh curveball. These are the things that come up.
I'll have my staff work on that.
I got a long list. Fastball off the plate, 2-2. So they hit for Bradley with Avila. Leadoff man Peralta's on deck. Yoshi Hirano warming up at the D-back bullpen. He would get Gurriel, Reddick, and Bregman 4, 5, and 6 in the 8th inning. McHugh missing with some fastballs, and it's full 3-2. Diamondbacks still with only 3 base hits in the ball game. Peralta's home run in the 2nd. Greinke's double in the 5th, and David's RBI single in the 5th inning. That has been all the offense after they had just 1 base hit in the game last night. Good at bat by Alex, a leadoff walk, and we'll see if we get a pinch runner here.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Devin Marrero indeed comes on to run for Avila. Well, it's been a terrific night for Peralta. He walked and scored to lead off the ball game, homered in the 2nd. He had an RBI single in the 5th and was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. 3 Houston infielders on the right side. Bregman all by himself standing in the shortstop spot. I think that was the fastball that McHugh was trying to throw to Alex Avila, kept missing with it.
And we saw in that 6th inning after Steven Souza Jr. drew a leadoff walk, Colin McHugh's got a real quick pickoff move to first base. You really got to be on your toes over there.
D-backs trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Yoshihisa Hirano will get the 8th. Torrey's got his big 3 available back there in Bradley, Hirano, and Boxberger. Thanks in no small part to TJ McFarland's effort last night. Slaps this away from the shift. Bregman is there, and Peralta beats it out. They get 1. That's 5-6 on the force out of Marrero at second base.
Yeah, that exaggerated pull shift can put you in some funny positions for what is seemingly a routine play. It should have been a 5-4-3 attempted double play, but instead a 5-6-3 attempt. David too fast.
Here's Descalso, who has walked, struck out, and been hit by a pitch. Astros leave the shift on against the left-hand batter. And McHugh floats a curveball in there for strike one.
Well, I think the Astros might be playing Daniel Descalso a little cheap in left and center field. Both Springer in center, Marwin Gonzalez in left, playing very shallow and swung around toward the gap in left center.
Well, we've seen Daniel, when he gets a pitch on the outer half, he'll take it the other way to left or left center. Joe Smith, the right-hander, in the Houston bullpen. If you missed the news yesterday, Jake Lamb turned up with some inflammation in his left shoulder again, had a cortisone shot. Minimal concern, says Torey Lovullo, but they've stalled Jake's rehab program for a couple of days. Descalso in at third tonight. Everything from McHugh, away, away, away. He's fallen behind 3-1. Goldie on deck. Right-hander Smith throwing in the Houston bullpen. Descalso hits a fly ball toward the right field corner. Reddick on the run, and he won't get it. It hops into the bullpen. Peralta's got to stop at third. A double for Daniel Descalso.
Well, we showed you the center fielder and the left fielder shaded around to the gap in left center and playing shallow. Josh Reddick was all the way in the gap in right center. Little cut fastball from McHugh, and Daniel gets out in front. That ball was way up in the air. Josh Reddick on a dead run, just could not get there in time. Up and over into the bullpen.
And here comes A.J. Hinch. He's got Joe Smith ready in the pen. Second and third, and Goldie coming up. D-backs lead at 3-1, threatening more in the seventh. Back after this. between the ages of 10 and 16. If you'd like to be part of the D-backs telecast, interview a player, go behind the scenes and see what it takes to produce a baseball game, come on out here tomorrow. Fox Sports Arizona, Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Sandlot during the D-backs and Astros game. New pitcher for the Astros is the right-hander Joe Smith, the 3-8. 34 years old. He is second among active major leaguers in appearances behind only Fernando Rodney. Got a 2-year deal in the offseason from Houston. Infield comes in. Goldie up there, 1 out, second and third. Tries to bloop one over the head of Gurriel, and he runs it down. Now here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. knocked in the first run of the ball game. A bases loaded sacrifice fly in the first inning. He's 0 for 2. D-backs do not want to squander another opportunity here. Peralta's at third. Descalso after the doubles at second. D-backs had bases loaded, no outs in the first inning. They loaded the bases twice in that first inning against Charlie Morton. Got only 1 run in. A chance to tack on 2 more right here with 2 outs.
Sinker slider combination from Joe Smith from that low submarine delivery. A lot of tailing action on the fastball. Big sweeping slider.
Just over 700 career appearances. Longtime Cleveland Indian Joe Smith. Jumps ahead 0-2. This is the guy that A.J. Hinch clearly wanted to match up with Goldschmidt and Pollock. Big crowd here on Cinco de Mayo. Almost 40,000 with us at Chase Field. The second of a 3-game set. The D-backs and the World Series champs. Doesn't bite on the slider. It's 1-2. Justin Verlander and Matt Cook here tomorrow. Off day Monday. We head to LA for a quick 2-game set against those Dodgers again. Matt Cook has been impressive so far. Filling in for the injured Taijuan Walker. 1-2 on Pollock. Got him. D-back strand 2. It stays 3-1. here at Chase Field. A reminder, fans, tomorrow our D-backs Spanish broadcast is back. Fox Sports Arizona Plus. There they are, the great Oscar Soria and Rodrigo Lopez. D-backs and Astros, 1 o'clock. It's brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. If you're not sure where to find Fox Sports Arizona Plus and the 25-game schedule for Spanish TV, check out foxsportsarizona.com. 8th inning, and it's Yoshihisa Hirano, a 2.03 ERA. He'll face Yuli Gurriel, Josh Reddick, Alex Bregman, 4, 5, and 6 of the Astros' 8th inning. Yoshi's got some fans here with us.
Yeah.
Devin Marrero, who came on to run for the pinch hitter Alex Avila, remains in the game, takes over at third base for Daniel Descalso. Descalso out of the ball game. Marrero bats 9th, pitcher spot, now 2nd in the D-backs order. Here's Gurriel, who singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Got the splitter, couldn't check, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Yoshi has his own fan club here tonight. 200 kids from a local Japanese school are here in the left field bleachers.
Outstanding. Just foul. There's Bam Bam Balderrama. Nicely done.
Check the angle. Bam Bam always plays the angle off the wall perfectly.
And you know what he did? He put on his Archie Bradley beard when Archie was in the game, and Robert has now removed the beard now that Yoshihisa Hirano has come on. 0-2 on Gurriel. This has become such an international game. Yoshihisa Hirano, all those fans here, signed out of Japan by the D-backs. Gurriel signed out of Cuba by the Astros. His younger brother Lourdes signed with Toronto after leaving Cuba. He made his major league debut earlier this year. Marrero right away, the new guy. First one finds him. Well, he plays a nice smooth third base down there.
Boy, he really does. I mean, he's handled some tough hops, some hard hit balls. He's had to come in, go to his left, his right. That time had to retreat his step to get the big hop, and still had plenty of arm to get Gurriel at first.
Josh Reddick 0 for 3. D-backs will overload the right hand side. Two and 0. Giants 11-2 winners in Atlanta. They beat the Braves. Rockies won 2-0 at Citi Field over the Mets. And in Monterrey, Mexico, the Padres, who were no hit last night, beat the Dodgers 7-4. So everything else in the NL West is a final. Bregman on deck. 3-0 on Reddick. Boy, Mike DeMuro just does not like that high strike. A 1-out walk. And now the tying run comes to the plate. Bregman's a tough out. He singled, walked, and grounded out. 1 for 2. Astros bullpen starts to get busy again. Hector Rondon. Boy, they really strengthened that bullpen after it was a bit of a weak spot for them late in the year during their World Series run. They brought in Joe Smith. They brought in Rondon, trying to bolster that whole group. They've got some good guys back there. Brad Peacock and Davinsky, Will Harris, Tony Sipp, couple of former D-backs. They moved McHugh from the rotation to the bullpen. Well, Yoshi's falling behind here. He walked Reddick. Now it's 2-0 on Bregman. Yoshi's workload, because of the way that Torey Lovullo uses his bullpen and the fact that the D-backs, with their somewhat limited offense so far this year, have put the bullpen in tough situations. Yoshi's workload's been very erratic. He works a bunch, then you don't see him for a while, works a whole bunch again. He's not pitched since April 30th. And he's got a whole lot of supporters here tonight. He worked, if you go back to the last week of April, he worked on the 24th, the 27th, the 28th, and the 30th, and we haven't seen him since. And most of that is a function of the offense. The D-backs have played 18 games this year, decided by 2 or fewer runs. That's the 4th most in baseball. So they've needed their high leverage guys. Locates that fastball in there. In those 18 games, the D-backs are 11-7. They are 8-4 this year in one-run games. They lead it by 2 here in the 8th. Fly ball for Souza. 2 outs.
They're talking about that improved Astros bullpen. The biggest improvement is that their starting pitching is getting deep into the ballgame on almost a nightly basis.
Well, when you add Verlander and Garrett Cole, it doesn't hurt. There's Rondon, the former Cub. Yeah, you hate to play these guys in a 5-game series. You're not going to get anybody. Brian McCann. Shift is still on. McCann walked his last time up against Andrew Chafin. He's 0 for 2.
And McCann really got overmatched by the Zach Greinke changeup back in the 4th inning when he struck out swinging. Zach just kept pounding one changeup after another at the bottom of the zone. Finally got McCann to swing and miss.
Well, we'll see if Yoshi takes the same approach with that split finger pitch he's got. Well, if you can get McCann here, you'd have 8 and 9 leading off the Houston 9th. There is the splitter, 1-1. Checked on the split. No, he didn't, says Dan Isonia. Yoshi fan club not happy with that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Reddick at first. McCann belts one fair down the right field line, and Reddick's on the run. Gary Pettis going to wave him home around third. There's no throw, and it's a 1-run ball game.
McCann finally able to time up one of those off-speed deliveries. The splitter on the outer third of the plate and hooks it back down the right field line. The ball just hit and checked up. Steven Souza had to chase it all the way over there against the sidewall. By the time he gets to it, Josh Reddick has scored.
So they'll take McCann out of the game. Marisnik, who runs very well, is the new runner at second base. He's the tying run with 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Marwin Gonzalez is the hitter. Derek Fisher has come out in the on-deck circle. He would hit for the pitcher. Gonzalez walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Fastball misses down and away. 2-0. You've got first base open. If you wanted to, you could work to Fisher, but then you put the go-ahead run on base. Three balls and no strikes. Yoshi 19 pitches, only 7 strikes. There's Fisher. He would hit for the pitcher Smith. Fastball's a strike. 3-1. Marisnick running for McCann to the tying run.
Yoshi nodding his head yes and then no and yes and no. Jeff Mathis wasn't even looking out toward the mound, wasn't giving any signs. Just something to try to confuse the hitter. Now there is some confusion apparently. Probably not too many descriptive adjectives used out there on that mound visit. Yoshi doesn't speak a lot of English, and I'm pretty sure Jeff Mathis doesn't speak a lot of Japanese, but there are certain things that are universal when you're talking about a pitcher.
Well, he's a pitcher who needs to make a pitch right here. 3 balls and 1 strike to Marwin Gonzalez. He walked him. Second walk in the inning for Yoshi. And Fisher will hit for the pitcher. Derek Fisher, 170 with 2 home runs. Marisnick is the tying run at second. Gonzalez the go-ahead run at first. 2 outs in the 8th.
With Fisher taking this at bat here in the pitcher spot, A.J. Hinch is down just to his backup catcher now, Max Stassi. No other position players available off the bench.
Cell phone lights are on here at the ballpark. Yoshi trying to get out of this 8th inning with a 3-2 lead. That is hammered fair down the right field line. Marisnick will score to tie the ball game. They'll stop Gonzalez at third, and it's 3-3.
It's a fastball down and in. If Fisher was going to ask for a fastball, that's where he would want it. He's a real good low ball hitter from the middle of the plate in and bangs that one down in the corner for an RBI base hit.
2 walks and 2 doubles in the inning against Yoshihisa Hirano. And now he's just got to get out of here with a 3-3 ball game. 2nd and 3rd, and here's the leadoff man Springer, who homered in the 5th. Splitters a strike 0-1. Chased a high fastball, 0-2. Fernando Salas will get loose in the D-back bullpen. Diamondbacks in the home half will have Souza, Marte, and Ahmed due up 5, 6, and 7. Astros bullpen is ready as well. They've already hit for Smith. Got him. He strands 2, but Houston gets 2, and we're tied at 3.
Still plenty of baseball left before D-backs live the post-game show, but Mark, the Diamondbacks clearly playing with fire there, weren't they?
Yeah, most definitely had a big opportunity in the bottom of the 7th inning to put this game away. It didn't happen. When you're playing the world champions, you got to take advantage of those opportunities.
It is, as they say, a fluid situation for our coverage, Steve, because, well, this one is far from over, so let's get it back to you.
You're right, guys. A rough 8th inning there for Yoshihisa Hirano, talking things over with Mike Butcher. And what is now a 3-3 ball game as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Hector Rondon, the former Cub, is on for the Astros, his 13th appearance of the year. Souza, Marte, Ahmed due up 5, 6, and 7 in the D-backs 8th inning. Max Stassi takes over behind the plate after they pinch ran for McCann. Souza 0 for 2. He walked his last time up. It was interesting to go into the clubhouse before the game today. Guys were kind of hanging around playing ping pong. It was early in the afternoon, well before game time, and there was the TV was on in the clubhouse. And everybody was gathered around watching a movie that was on TV. It was the 1987 Patrick Dempsey romantic comedy Can't Buy Me Love. This is hit to center for Springer. And I had no idea. I was the only one that didn't know that one of the stars of that rom-com, Can't Buy Me Love, Todd Walsh, who was in the movie. He plays a character named Stocky Jones.
Wow.
And everybody knew it. They all watched it. I was like, well, who knew? I didn't know Todd was a movie star.
Kind of an odd choice for a clubhouse movie, but now I see. Now I know why.
Yeah, it just happened to be on.
Sure.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Nerdy high schooler Ronald Miller rescues cheerleader Cindy Mancini from parental punishment Gonzalez in left. After she accidentally destroys her mother's designer clothes, and at some point, Todd, Stocky Jones had to step in, and I think there was a news conference scene. How did that work out?
Well, there's a casting call, like any part in a movie. But
sure.
The old high school misses you too, Bobby Hilton. Good luck with the Hawkeyes. Sorry, I would just encourage you to keep mentioning the movie because the residual checks keep rolling in. I just got a check from overseas purchases about 6 weeks ago for $4.98. So half a coffee will be on me.
It was the movie was filmed in Tucson, of course. Takes place in Tucson.
Yeah. So
you answered the casting call.
I did. I went down and read.
Good for you.
Sure. Why not? I was 21.
Stocky Jones. Did you get to pick the name? No, Stocky Jones?
I was typecast, as many will say.
But I was the only guy in the clubhouse that had no idea. Everyone goes, "Oh yeah, Todd's in this movie."
Wow.
Because I'd seen it a couple of times. I haven't watched it in 20 years, but
well, the 18 seconds that you got to pay careful attention. It was the third scene.
Look, there are no small parts, only small actors.
Thank you very much.
Even though his name's Stocky Jones.
I'm just surprised it didn't lead to more.
Yes. See, this is where I was going.
It was a dead end gig. Boy Rents Girl, by the way, was the original title, and then they secured the rights to the Beatles, and then the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, can't buy me a base hit in the 8th inning. It stays 3-3. Chase Field on this Cinco de Mayo. A big crowd with us, more than 39,000. And keep that in mind. You'll receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos. Cinco de Mayo. Big fiesta street festival outside the ballpark before the game today. Packed house in here. Brad Boxberger is on in a 3-3 ball game to start the 9th.
Save the tie at home. That's why you bring your closer into a tie ball game. Just try to keep the score tied, and you're going to have the last 3 outs of the ball game anyway. See the numbers for Brad Boxberger this season. And we've talked about Archie and Yoshi Hirano and Brad Boxberger and how much they had worked recently, and they really needed a little bit of a blow.
The only thing about this is Brad Boxberger has been tremendous in save opportunities, 10 for 10 with 10 scoreless innings. When it's not been a save opportunity, he's had a couple of bumps in the road. Altuve, Correa, Gurriel, 2, 3, and 4 of the Astros 9th. Mike DeMuro is a good umpire for Brad Boxberger. He'll give him the low strike. That changeup maybe just a little off the plate below the knees. Altuve trying to bunt his way on. It trickles foul, and it's 0-2. D-backs in another tight ball game here. They've already played 18 games this year decided by 2 or fewer runs, the 4th most in the majors. Bradley was dominant to end the 6th, a 1-2-3 7th, but Hirano gave up 2 in the 8th, and here we are 3-3 9th inning. Ahmed, slow roller, got to hurry. Altuve makes every play close, and they get him at first.
With his speed and the way he gets out of the batter's box, he ought to get himself a lot of infield hits over the course of the year. I mean, that's as routine a play as you can get, and it was bang bang over there at first base. And we know the kind of throwing arm Nick Ahmed has.
Reigning AL MVP hustles on every play. Correa 0 for 4. Correa always a threat. He doubled twice last night. He leads the major leagues with a road batting average this year of .456. He's hit safely in 9 straight road games, but hitless so far tonight. Giles and Davinsky. A couple of right-handers in the Houston pen. Giles is the guy that punched himself in the face the other day. That's right. He punched himself in the face.
Hard.
Coming out of a ball game.
He came on in relief of Justin Verlander, who had punched out 14 hitters, and Giles came in and gave it up. Wasn't real happy.
Hit himself with a right cross. There's that low strike call. This was it a few days ago. Walking off the mound and into the dugout. Bam. Like rock'em sock'em robots. Full count, 3-2. Yuli Gurriel on deck. Got him. Right upstairs with a fastball and elevated. 2 down.
They're above the letters. Blows it right by Correa that time. That might be a game plan against this Astros offense tomorrow. They're all real good low ball hitters. We saw that last night. But they will chase the high pitch as well.
Matt Cook gets the start tomorrow against Justin Verlander. Gurriel singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. There's a fastball 0-1. D-backs in the home half will have Mathis, Marrero, Peralta due up 8, 9, and 1. 0-2. Nick Ahmed. Brad Boxberger, a 1-2-3 9th. D-backs coming up. two of the best teams in the major leagues locked up 3-3 bottom 9. The right-hander Chris Davinsky is on. He is fourth among all American League relief pitchers with that ERA. Jeff Mathis will lead off the D-backs 9th inning. Jeff 0 for 3 so far. Mathis, Marrero, and Peralta 8, 9, and 1 due up. D-backs still with only 4 hits. They had only 1 hit in the ball game last night against Garrett Cole. Bounces a breaking ball up there, and Mathis is ahead 2-0.
On that last road trip to Washington and Philadelphia, we saw Jake Arrieta pitch for the Phillies out of an extreme closed approach to home plate. Stepped to the third base side and threw back across his body. Davinsky does just the opposite. He opens wide up. Steps toward the first base side of the rubber. Gets a lot of fading action on that changeup.
Threw a 2-0 changeup right there. Mathis thinking about a bunt base hit. Bregman playing back, and he's aboard. Jeff Mathis a bunt single, and the winning run is on for the D-backs. How about that?
Well, you expect to see Gerard Dyson come out of that third base dugout now to run for Jeff Mathis. What a heads-up play. Took a peek down to Alex Bregman, saw him playing back, waits, and just an absolutely perfect bunt for a base hit to get this inning started.
The coach, Jeff Mathis. And Dyson with that great speed is the winning run at first. Marrero the hitter. Bregman still in at third. Gurriel holding Dyson on the bag at first. Marrero shows bunt, pulls back, but takes a strike at 94. Tony Perez-Chica coaching at third. Five for 5 so far for Mr. Zumbaya.
Max Stassi behind the plate for the Astros. Only 2 stolen base attempts against him this year. Both were successful.
Oh, he's got a pretty quick move over there. I want to take a look.
Once again sliding to the far outfield edge of the bag, and he's on there.
AJ's going to challenge.
Maybe kept a fingernail of that right hand on the bag there.
So Roberto Ortiz, the first base umpire, comes in with Brian Gorman, the crew chief, and they'll talk to New York City.
He's on the bag initially right there. Now the tag is applied, and did his hand come all the way off the bag? Oh my.
This is the nitpicky stuff that drives you crazy about replay. He clearly beat the tag initially. The question was, Gurriel is lifting that glove up. Did he keep the glove on the shoulder when the hand came off the bag? There's a lot to look at here.
Just as an oh by the way for Jeff Mathis, that was the 17th bunt hit of his career. The first as a D-back.
Safe at first. Maybe worth a shot, A.J. Hinch figured.
Well, good to know. I mean, he was safe, and even after review, he's still safe. But we know now that Chris Devenski has a quick pickoff move to first base.
Bregman is a couple of steps in at third. This is the kind of speed that the D-backs liked about Jarrod Dyson when they gave him a 2-year deal. The kind of speed that's elite, that changes games. The kind of guy who can steal a base when everyone in the ballpark knows he's trying to steal a base. And that's the difference. That's what puts Dyson at that next level. He holds 1-1.
As we mentioned, he's 5 for 5 in his career in stolen, or rather this year in stolen bases. In his career, 85% success rate stealing bases. That's tremendous.
Swiped 28 last year in Seattle. Dyson holds. Marrero gets the bunt down. Devenski going to second, and they cut down the lead run.
Devenski falling off to the first base side puts him in good fielding position. He spiked the throw to second base, but Carlos Correa right there to pick the ball out of the dirt.
David Peralta has walked. He's homered. He's got an RBI single. Changeup 0-1. Surprised they gave up the out there?
A little bit. I mean, we've been talking about Dyson's speed, and maybe it was going to be too tough for him to get the jump he needed to steal the base. Devenski had real quick feet on those pickoff moves to first base. Perhaps Jarrod just couldn't get out there where he needed to be to steal a base.
So now it's Marrero the winning run at first and 1 out.
Good use of the Sugar Skull shirt back there.
I was just thinking that.
Trying to distract the Astros pitcher.
It's intimidating. Devenski ahead of Peralta 0-2. Sugar Skull t-shirt, the big giveaway item here today on Cinco de Mayo. Los D-backs and the Houston Astros. 3-3 in the 9th.
It is a little surprising that the Diamondbacks tried to sacrifice bunt at all. They've only done it 8 times this year. 5 times it's been successful. Only the Pirates have attempted fewer sacrifice bunts than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, it's not something we've seen very much of. Just got a piece of that changeup to stay alive. Pitcher spot is up next after the double switch. Owings in the on deck circle. He would hit for Boxberger. Lays off a breaking ball, and David's back even 2-2. The Astros with 3 infielders on the right side. Left side of the field is wide open. At least in the infield, you've got Gonzalez playing near the line in left. And look where Springer is in center, way over toward left center field. Reddick a mile off the line in the right field corner. Anything down the right field line will win the ball game. Marrero runs pretty well if it gets in that corner. Reddick's going to have to run 1.5 miles to get the baseball. And by the time he does, the game will be over. Boy, what a heads-up play by the coach, Jeff Mathis.
Take what they give you.
2-2. Marrero takes off. The pitch is upstairs. He's in there. Full count on Peralta, 3-2, and the winning runs in scoring position. Stassi wants a word. Owings is the on-deck hitter. Starting to get loud in here, 39,000 plus. Three and two. He went, says Dan Isonia, and Peralta strikes out. And someone's been ejected from the D-back dugout. Looks like Archie Bradley. Here comes Torey Lovello to check in with Mike DeMuro. He's got to protect Peralta now.
You got to stay in the ball game now. You don't have any extra players left. David really tries to sell it well, tosses the bat away, taking off the ankle guard, but Dan Isonia at third base said he swung.
And Archie got up on the top step, pointed at what? Who, me? I'm the one, and he has been ejected. Of course, he's already out of the ball game. And Owings will hit for Boxberger. 2 outs and the winning runs at second. Here's CO, 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter this year. Chris at 236 with a home run. Owings had the D-backs' only base hit last night against Garrett Cole, who worked a one-hit shutout with 16 strikeouts. Boy, Davinsky's burning through these mound visits.
Yeah, they're down to 1 now, I think. Oh, 2, excuse me. I thought they were already down to 2. Stassi came in the game.
They do give you an additional mound visit for every extra inning you have to play. So they've got a few coming to them if we get to the 10th.
I was going to say Stassi came into the game because they ran for Brian McCann. Davinsky came in out of the bullpen, so these two really didn't have much of a chance to get their signs together. The second meeting here in this inning.
And the umpire can grant them an uncharged mound visit if he thinks there's too much confusion between the pitcher and the catcher, and they want to clarify a sign. That's a judgment call on the part of the umpire. 1-0 on Chris Owings. Marrero at second and 2 outs. 3-3 in the 9th. Coming at you. Boy, Davinsky just fell off the mound that time. 1-1 on CO.
Yeah, part of the reason that bunt for a base hit by Jeff Mathis was even smarter. I mean, not only was Bregman playing back at third, but Davinsky falling off the mound to the first base side just opened up that left side of the infield.
Change up is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Goldie is the on-deck hitter. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Fastball's up. It's 3-1. He's behind 3-1 against a guy whose run is meaningless right now. You got first base open. A change up for a strike, and it's full 3-2.
Well, this is where the gears really start grinding as a hitter. If he's going to throw you a changeup on a 3-1 count, he might just come right back with it on the 3-2 pitch. If he's got that much confidence in that changeup.
Three and 2 to Chris Owings. Ball 4. Goldie will hit. He walked in the first inning. Since then, a ground out, a strikeout, and a pop-up. Goldie with runners in scoring position, 0 for his last 8 with 5 strikeouts.
A big knock right here can erase a whole lot of ugly.
You better believe it. Winning run at second, 2 outs. Just off the plate with a slider, but he gets the call, and it's 0-1. Goldie right now stuck in a 2 for 26 up there. Doubled up on the slider, and it's 1-1. Missed upstairs with a fastball. Springer in center, shaded over toward the pool. There you see the center fielder. 2 balls and 1 strike. He didn't go, says Roberto Ortiz, and it's 3-1. A.J. Pollock on deck.
Now remember, Davinsky threw Chris Owings a 3-1 changeup, came right back with a 3-2 changeup, but missed with it. That's Goldie in a 3-1 count right here.
Turned into a 25-pitch inning for Davinsky. The 3-1 to Goldie.
Did get another changeup out over the plate, just missed that one.
Well, Davinsky has gone full 3-2 on the last 3 D-backs hitters. He struck out Peralta, walked Owings, now it's 3-2 on Goldie. The bases are loaded for Pollock. Back-to-back walks. A.J. Hinch. 3-3, 2 outs, bottom 9, and the bases are loaded. Back in a moment. Bottom 9, 2 outs. D-backs have the bases loaded. And here is Brad Peacock on to face A.J. Pollock, his 13th appearance of the year. Peacock was handed a blown save Thursday against the Yankees when he allowed 3 inherited runners to score. And Pollock's up there with the bases full and 2 down. A.J. 0 for 3, knocked in a run in the first. The only run that matters is Devin Marrero 90 feet away. Diamondbacks win the ball game. Pollock comes through. Marrero scores 4-3. Well, they were just simply dominated last night. Garrett Cole gave up only 1 hit, struck out 16, and they bounced back in a big way to beat the World Series champs and even the series in a game apiece.
Didn't exactly knock the cover off of it tonight. A.J. gets a first pitch slider, got it off the end of the bat just a little bit. Alex Bregman trying to do his Brooks Robinson impersonation. Fortunately deflects it away from Carlos Correa, the shortstop. It gets out into left center field, and Devin Marrero will score the winning run.
The second career walk-off hit for A.J. Pollock. The D-backs snap a 3-game losing streak and get to 22-11 on the year. Matt Cook versus Justin Verlander here tomorrow afternoon. The D-backs can still win the series. They win this one 4-3. Let's go downstairs to Kate.
All right, thank you guys. AJ still getting a lot of congratulations from his teammates, rightfully so. What was your approach in that final at bat?
Just trying to see the ball up. There was a lot of sliders and guys in scoring position, so kind of sat on it there. It worked out. Wasn't pretty, but.
And that might not be pretty, but it's worth celebrating, right?
Need new batting gloves for tomorrow, that's for sure. So no, it's something we talked about. Me and Mags took a chance on it. It wasn't pretty, like I said, but got the job done. There was a lot of good at bats to get it to me. Including David with a tough call there. But we fought and we scratched out a win versus a really good team.
It was a really impressive 9th inning. Some patient at bats, laying down some great butts. What does it just say about this team? I feel like you guys have found different heroes every night and different ways every night to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I mean, we're facing some really good pitchers right now. You could say whatever you want about the offense, but we're facing some really tough pitchers. Just getting us close, getting us opportunities, keep getting more opportunities with chances to score. And it takes a whole team to get those opportunities, and I think we did such a good job tonight. And we got another opportunity, and fortunate enough just to get the barrel on the ball, and ball scooted through.
Yeah, and no one was pushing the panic button. However, you guys were riding your first 3-game losing skid of the season. So how satisfying is tonight's W?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have a losing streak in seasons. I think we kind of understand the ups and downs of the season. But yeah, you face some good pitchers, and if you could scratch out a win there and then be able to go and try to win a series tomorrow, that's a big deal. And I think we'll be up for the challenge.
All right, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, and just like that, Diamondbacks back in a familiar position, a chance to take another series, guys.
Kate, thank you very much. And Mark, high drama, high anxiety, felt like a playoff game. But if you're going to beat the defending World Series champs, you have to find a way to execute, right? You can't let another opportunity slip away.
I thought AJ answered every question just perfectly. Opportunities kept presenting themselves because guys kept having good at-bats, drawing walks, getting a base hit here, and gave AJ, the guy they want at the plate in that situation, player of the month of April. He gets a big hit right there to break a streak and against the world champions. And I love the fact that he mentioned, you can say what you want about this offense, but they are facing some monster pitching right now. Just some tough pitchers.
And and a chance to win the series.
How about that?
You're back in.
How about that?
Didn't think we'd be saying that, but here they are.
Short memory, right?
Yep.
Is that what we said?
I think you said that at the start of the pregame show a few hours ago. All right, we'll take a short break here from Chase Field on this Saturday night. When we return, it will be D-backs Live, the post-game show. Kate Longworth will go into the clubhouse. We'll hear from Diamondbacks manager Troy Lovello, of course, and Bob Brenly will join us from the broadcast booth. So stick around. We're hanging out. We hope you will as well on this Cinco de Mayo. Diamondbacks defeat the Astros 4-3.